and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn. Today I'm going to be taking you through some more of my miniatures collection. I'll explain a little bit more about why I'm doing this in a moment, but that's what we're up to today. If you're getting to watch this video, it means that I'm running some scheduled postings. There's some big changes going on around with the Gothic Unicorn at the moment. Well, not with the channel, but with my real life. And I'm filming this well in advance of probably when you'll get to see it, because we are preparing for a house move and we don't know when that's going to be. We just know that it's upcoming and there's going to be a lot of work involved before we can actually move house. I will probably have posted something about this over on my Facebook page, so I'm not going to go into too much, but if this sort of seems a bit out of order maybe with some of my other videos, it's because I've been filming a lot. I'm well in advance with videos at the moment as I'm filming this, and I need to get more in the bag. So I'm going to do a couple of what I'll call sort of quicker videos. Hopefully they'll be quicker for me to film and edit, and then I can get them scheduled at some point. But this one has been prompted by me showing everybody the box that had got all my miniature accessories in. A while back now, I sorted out my furniture into what I knew I wanted to keep, and what I thought I wanted to keep, and the stuff that is going to go, because I'm not going to use it, so I'm not going to keep it forever. And I was left with a big box. This was a underbed storage box, probably somewhere in the region of, I don't know how many litres it is. But it's a big storage box that sort of filled more than the area that you can see when I'm filming, and it was full of small stuff. And I know there were a lot of people that really wanted to see more of what was in there. So I'm going to spend a bit of time going through some of the stuff, and then you can see a bit more, you know, in a bit more detail, the kind of things that I've collected over the years. Bearing in mind that I've had my doll's house for 19 years, and I've been collecting miniatures for a few years more than that. I'm going to start with these two boxes, which are Reuter porcelain, German miniature porcelain. Now these I bought from the first proper doll's house shop I ever went to. This was a lovely little shop in Arlick in Wales, and it was a bit of an oddity because the shop was on a caravan site on a holiday park, and you used to have to go and ring the bell and the lady would come out and she'd let you into the shop. And I bought a few things from there over maybe 2 years that I was visiting on a fairly regular basis, but these were my favourites. And this is my wonderful set of porcelain that was displayed in my doll's house for many, many years. Oh, and it's upside down. And what we've got here is this is the dinner service. So I've got the plates, the serving dishes and a tray, all with this beautiful, and I'll bring this a bit closer, forget-me-not design. And I love forget-me-nots, and I really liked it when I saw it, and that's why I bought them. So I've got the dinner set, and then in the other box, which I bought, oh no, I'm knocking everything flying in this one, probably a month or so later, maybe a bit longer. I've got the tea or coffee set. I think it's more of a coffee set with the shape of the pot. But again, I've got 4 place settings, and it's the same forget-me-not pattern, which I absolutely adore. Now I know these, and this was 20 years ago, cost me 20 something pounds each, which was a reasonable amount of money at the time when I remember what I was earning back then. But they are pieces that I might not use in my house, but I can't bring myself to get rid of them because they've got some serious sentimental value attached to them. So obviously I've kept these boxes all this time, and when I took them out of the furniture took them out of the furniture, that's right, that they were displayed in a couple of months ago, I put them back into their boxes, although the actual sticky bits that stuck them in the boxes are long since gone, and I haven't replaced them. But there we have it, my German porcelain. Now, in sort of preparation for this video, I've actually finally sorted that box out, and everything's now in containers. Some are takeaway containers like this one, others are some divided containers that you may see later, or they're just various little boxes that I'd got. I think there's only the German porcelain that has gone back into its original box. That went back into its box when I took it out of the furniture. This one has never been out of its box. This was a set that came with a magazine. I think it was one of those build your own doll's house part works. The first part was not very expensive and came with a china cabinet, dresser, piece of furniture, and this. Now it's obviously another 4 place setting dinner service. I'm not sure what these bits here are, but I have got a gravy boat there and the little ladle with the tureen. It's never been opened, it's taped up, perhaps you can see, and I don't know if I'll keep it or if it will get sold on at some point, but it's not doing too much harm and it's quite safe in its original box. So, as I say, I've used a lot of these, which are takeaway containers. They're very useful, but what we find in this house is that although we save them to reuse them, we get mixed up with the lids. So anything that isn't the same sort that we normally get from our normal takeaway gets spirited off, and I've claimed them all. Now this one I've marked up as glass and china, and inside there's, well, quite a bit of stuff. I've got some glassware that's still in its original packaging, been there for 20 odd years probably. I think that one I showed in my favourite mini video. And then I've got, a clock. That isn't really glass or china, but I presume I didn't know where else to put it. And then I've got some decorative plates. Now these that are in here are more recent. These came off a lady who sells her minis on Facebook. And I've got a plate with some robins on, and what's the other one? Oh, it's strawberries. You see that? Rather than me taking them out of the bag. They may go into a dresser at some point, I don't know. I've also got a dinner service in here in this sort of Art Deco, pseudo Clarice Cliff kind of design. This is actually an extra piece that went with it. It's another piece that used to be in my doll's house. And I've got a couple of pieces of blue and white china. And then I've got my sort of favourite pieces. Now this is from, I think it's from the company that's on here, which is A Woman's Touch. I'm not sure they're still trading, but I've picked these up online and at Dolls House shows a good many years ago, and I've got quite a few pieces of the same pattern, but not a full set. And Blue Sevres, excuse my pronunciation, I'm not 100% sure. It's based upon a real pattern of china, and I quite like it. Now if I show you the plate, which is actually the platter which has got a cover, you can get a better idea. This one needs a good clean, but it's really nice with lots of gilding and that beautiful blue colour, and I do still really like it. There's a few other pieces in here. There is a plate of York Minster, which came from the Dolls House shop in York. I thought that was quite apt to buy that. It was most definitely suitable. And then I've got a God Bless America teapot that came when I originally subscribed to, I think it was called American Miniaturist, which was done by a company that did one of the British magazines, and if you pre-ordered and subscribed over here to this one, you could get this teapot, and I got the teapot. And I've got another piece here which I'm not sure where it came from, but that's a Blackberry design. No idea where most of this came from, and there's the truth. And then there's some more bits of glass in here. There's some jugs and some glasses that have been in my doll's house at various points. Oh, and Winnie the Pooh. So as you can see, I've got quite a collection of what I call my fine china. Again, I don't know whether it'll go into my current house, but I'm not intending to get rid of it because they were all pieces that I liked. I might get rid of the sort of Clarice Cliffy type design because that is a bit out there. I don't know. What do you think? Now, I'm not sure how many of these boxes I'm going to go through today. What I might do is go through a few of them and then do another video with some more of them, because I've got about 4 boxes in there that are exclusively for food and kitchen things, so I may make that a separate video because there's a lot of stuff in there. This one I've marked up as baby. This is things that were in the nursery of my doll's house, and a good number of them weren't actually visible. This one obviously wasn't in there, and I paid £2.99 for it, which seems like absolutely nothing for such a gorgeous little piece of crochet. This is a pram set. I do have a pram that it would have fit in, and it may go in there yet. All will become clear about that when it comes to me putting together future rooms in my doll's house. In there I've also got this little basket pram, which is a mass-produced one with a mass-produced little baby in it. It's not really anything special, but it's just a piece that I've had for a good many years. And then if I take out things like the nursery lamp and the nappies or diapers, depending upon where you come from, and there's actually a couple of what looks like the actual article in there, and there's just some tissue to fill the box out. You will get, amongst some airs, we don't want this, into some of the more homemade things. Well, I say homemade, it should be handmade, because I didn't make these. I mean, these are knitted, and you can see they are tiny. I mean, those are little knitted knickers, the little pants that you'd put on underneath a baby's dress once upon a time. I mean, I've even got, if anybody remembers these are little rubber pants. See if I can, I'm not going to get my finger into there, it's too. They've got the waist, they've got the leg holes, and they are incredibly small, and they are made out of plastic. They are even done at the top so that it stretches a little bit. You know, these used to be a thing back before disposable nappies. I don't know if they still are. We used to get fancy ones. I can remember having clothes for my baby doll when I was a kid, and they had fancy knickers that went underneath the dresses. Probably ageing myself a bit there, but I'm not that old. It was just that always when you got stuff, it tended to be stuff that other people had got rid of. And I see I've got a dress which is tiny and a bonnet there, all and done. These were bought either at shows or sometimes off eBay. I mean, that jumper has got a hat, it's got mittens, it's even got little tiny knitted booties with it. I actually think I've got a couple of pairs of mittens with that one. I've got some more little mittens or booties there. I'm not sure what they are. And then obviously I've got a set there in the purple as well, with this sweet little dress that has even got some little pearl beads stitched on as buttons. It's just amazing. This is the sort of thing that still amazes me. I've got a few items in here, like some baby food, a little jar, and then I've got some bottles and jars that are products that certainly ring a bell with me here in the UK. This is Johnson's baby lotion and Johnson's baby powder, and I think the other ones are the baby bath and the baby shampoo. The baby shampoo complete with its No More Tears. There's even a box of Vaseline in there, and some zinc and castor oil cream. That is a blast from the past. And then I've got a little box of I'm not sure if they're supposed to be baby wipes or nappy sacks. I'm not sure what they are, but as you can see, lots of pretty little bits for the nursery. Next, I'm going to explore the box that I've labelled plants. Well, I think it's quite obvious at first glance why they've got that label. Now, some of these again came from Dolls House shows, and quite a few came from buying online, except it wasn't really buying online when I did it in the first place. You used to get a catalogue and you'd send your order off in the post. It was proper mail order buying. So I've got daffodils, I've got some kind of iris, I think, I've got some tulips. I've actually got tulips in 2 colours in here. I've got something here that is a bit more exotic. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. I've got a giant allium, more irises, another fairly tropical looking plant, and then I've got a couple of this one, which are hyacinths. They're yes, I dropped that. They are something that was mass produced, but I do like them. I like the colour, and I don't know how I ended up with 2. I must have either really liked it or I don't know. then I've got some actual plant type pieces. This is a foliage plant. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it's a nice big leafed foliage plant. I've got this one, which I think was sold as being a yucca. I've never seen a yucca grown in a pot, it must be said, but it is a good big plant, although the actual soil leaves a lot to be desired. If I'm going to put this in the house, I may tart that up a bit with some tea leaves. I've got a fern in a little teapot, which I remember buying from a show. That is really cool. And I've got two more here that I know I bought from shows, because these are just made from paper. I've got a daisy type plant, and I've got this one which is just tall and cool, and they're in nice pots. I've got the ubiquitous aspidistra. Aspidistras, also known as a cast iron plant, were well loved of my Victorian forebears, to the point at which that I've actually got one that belonged to my Victorian forebears. It came from my grandmother and definitely belonged to her grandmother, and possibly to that lady's grandmother as well. Although how much truth in it going back that far remains to be seen. But yeah, that's why I had to have one in miniature. I've got this sort of clump of roses that fits into a pot. I think it's used to go in a pot on a jardiniere, but I don't know what's happened to. This one, which I think is supposed to be a violet. It's a very simple mass-produced one, but it could work. And then I've got some cacti. There's 3 different cacti in there. There is a tomato plant, and of course there's some lucky bamboo. Just something that caught my eye. The fact that it's got its roots growing down, and it's got the water and the gravel in the bottom. It actually looks like you might grow a real one like that. Now, I'm truly not sure what I will do with all these plants. I'm not 100% sure why I bought them all in the first place, apart from the fact that I liked them and obviously the prices were right. I really think that these need to be in maybe a greenhouse project or a conservatory or some kind of plant room. We shall see. I know that I used to use some of them and change them out on the balcony of my doll's house, depending on the season. I could do that again, but I don't know. We will see how things develop in that line. Obviously, these are far more detailed than most of the plants I make, and maybe I should look at putting some of these into some of my rooms rather than just making my own. I think I'm going to go into this one next. Now, this is one of the divided boxes that I was talking about, and this one is mostly full of books. Now, I've got some here that have never been opened. I've got a lot here that have never been opened, and then I've got a lot that I bought mostly off eBay, I want to say. There's obviously a lot of these that are more detailed came from other sources. I've got Dracula, I've got Pride and Prejudice, I've even got a miniature family album with miniature photos in. Now, I have got lots of old photos of my own family that I would like to do something similar with, and maybe one of these days I'll get around to it. I figure it would be kind of cool to do that with my own pictures. I've got some books as well that I don't know where I've put them. I have seen them recently and they need to go in here, and they are some books I have bought in the last couple of years off a lady on Facebook who makes the most amazing miniature books that are fully printed inside. I think this lot are all from Jacqueline's, and there's all kinds of books on history, which is a passion of mine, lots of diaries. I must have decided that my Doll's House family were great diary keepers. There's even a dictionary. These are non-opening books, but they do look pretty good when they're put on a table, or even the even the spines, that's the word I'm looking for, are good, so they'll go really nicely onto a shelf. Now in here I've got a couple of fake ring binders. That way up, isn't it? The hole normally goes at the bottom, I think. Is it at the top? I can't remember. There's nothing inside, but if you actually put them, I've got more than these two that are in here. I have got some more somewhere. They're in the box, but I think they're in a bag rather than one of these containers. These two were in the Doll's House, but if you put them on a shelf, they look like the real deal. And also in here that are floating about are some tiny little envelopes and tiny little Christmas cards. I've got a fairly big bag of various paperwork type things that I just ran out of box space for. Now, most of these books that are in these two sections are children's books. We've got the box set of the first 4 Harry Potter books, British edition because it's the Philosopher's Stone, and if I can get these out, they are actually, the covers are fully printed, and they actually look in better condition than my own set, which have been raided by small people, various small people. Obviously there's more books that I haven't got because this is ageing it, isn't it? And then there's a lot of what I'll call older style children's books. A good many Enid Blyton books because they were something that I remember from my childhood, and bizarrely are being reread by one of the small people now, although in their new slightly edited versions. They have brought some of the language up to date and got rid of a few of the problems. And then these are so many of them. I've got a complete set of Mr. Men and Little Miss books. I had certainly all of the Mr. Men books that were available when I was a small child. And I remember those books with the stuff on the back, Mr. Clever. Not so much of the Little Miss, they came later. And then I've got lots of these Ladybird books, which Ladybird books were a big deal in kids' books here in the UK. Some of these I had for real. Some of them I've actually got for real. There's actually quite a number of them on the shelf, like these from the Garden Gang. Probably don't mean anything to anybody watching this from outside the UK, and probably don't mean anything to anybody that's been born more recently than I was. But there's lots of these, and they are all just printed and then stuck together. And I had a bookcase absolutely full of children's books, and as you can see, they're all in here. And yeah, I will do something with those. They will probably go into my miniature library when I build it. I'll have a children's section, and although they won't actually be visible because they'll be on the shelf and they've not got spines or anything being so thin, but I will maybe get the odd one out and have it sort of scattered on the floor, something like that, as if a child has come in, pulled a book out and done what children do and just abandoned it. So yeah, books. I need a lot more if I'm going to build a library. I don't think they're all going to be quite as detailed as some of these. It's like that one is in a box. I've got a feeling that that might actually be readable in part. I think that's the one that's readable. It's crazy. It absolutely amazes me even now. Now I've just pulled this Dracula book out. There's the box that it came in and there's the book. And the book is indeed printed inside. And inside is a readable synopsis of the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And yeah, like I said, they're phenomenal. These are pieces that I bought that had got some meaning for me. Dracula for memories of A-level English. I wrote a very, very detailed essay on Dracula and vampires and things like that. I was a bit gothic even back then. So that's remembered in my miniature life as well. And obviously this is going to be very fitting within the sort of theme of my doll's house as it's going to be now. So I think that I've been rambling at you for quite long enough, and if you've sat through it, thank you. I hope that you've seen things that you thought, oh, that's different, and even made you wonder about getting things that you remember in miniature for your doll's house. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, bye.